This episode of Captured Pittsburgh's Darkroom has been made possible in part by contributions from Small Universe Media and Captured Identity. Today we're featuring the song Small Town by Andy Davis Band.
Hi guys, it's Jason from Captured Pittsburgh, and I'm here with Jamie Leonard.
You forget the name of your organization too.
This is how it starts, and it's out of.
Oh my god, this is gonna take forever.
Yes.
It's supposed to be done in like 20 minutes, I believe.
Yeah.
We all live for Friday night, raising hell under hometown lights. And every time that sun goes down, you can hear.
Hi guys, it's Jason with Captured Pittsburgh. And today I'm here with Jamie Leonard from Jamie Leonard Photography. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing good. Had an interesting morning getting here. Got pulled over on my way, got a ticket, so that was unfortunate. But I made it. On time, almost.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a portrait and event photographer out of Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania. I started my business about a year and a half ago. And prior to that, I was in the U.S. Air Force. I was a meteorologist, and I spent a few years overseas. Actually, the majority of my time was spent in Germany. I did a lot of traveling over there. And before the military, I went to school for photography locally. And here I am now.
So you were in the Air Force, and you were in Germany, so that's where you learned to drive.
Yes, that's where I learned to have a lead foot, I guess.
So how does one make a jump from meteorology to photography?
I have always, my entire life, in high school and middle school, I've always kind of struggled between actually science and arts. I love both, and I actually almost went to college for science. I did for like a month, and I was like, no, I have to go and follow my art and do photography. That's what I wanted to do. I guess I kind of felt pressured, like, everyone always kind of pushes you away from your art. It's like, no, you don't want to go that way.
Yeah, there's no money.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, I get that.
But after starting school for science, and I was like, no, this isn't where my heart is, and I need to follow that. So that's how I ended up in school for photography.
So where did photography start for you? Like, what's your early beginnings of getting into photos?
The earliest beginnings was when I was just a child, and like, lucky for me, because not all families do this, but lucky for me, my parents have a large collection of photos from just album after album. My mom still has them in this cabinet in her dining room. And you open the cabinet and there's stacks of albums. And I would just pull them out and I would just look through them. There was just albums of like times before I was born, and then when my sister was born, and then separate albums for me when I was born, and it was just this whole collection. And I would just sit there and look through them, and it was, I don't know, I just had this connection with the photos before I ever even had a camera of my own. It was just there. And then as I got older, I actually got very into like video and photography kind of at the same time.
So with your interest in the photo books, and it's 2018, so you have a daughter, correct?
Yes.
So what are you doing? Are you still printing a lot of photos so like she has that same type of experience, or are you 100% like everybody else back to digital where she's got a...
No, I very much print. I print a lot. Ever since I did get my own camera, and we're talking like these throwaway cameras were my first kind of venture into photography. But ever since then, I have been very adamant about printing my photos. And not in any like fancy way, just once or twice a year, I go through my photos and I print hundreds of pictures and I put them in albums, just like the albums that I used to look at as a kid. So even the pictures from my phone, just the other day, I transferred all the pictures from my phone to my computer so that I have those stored, so when it comes time to print them, I'll go back and what do I want to print? And I really have to set aside time to do that because it takes so long because we have so many pictures. But I already am running into the issue of in my closet on my like top shelf where I'm keeping all my albums. I have all these albums already and I'm running out of room. So it's like, where do the next ones go? I'm gonna be creeping into my husband's closet, I think.
I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
One day he will.
I mean, I do think it is, like, a lot of people don't print their photos anymore. You know, it's all shared through, like, you know, Facebook is my life, and it's, you know, you have a whole entire album there. And in one way, I think it's awesome because, like, in my family, like, we had photo albums, but I don't remember that like you do. But I think now, like, children this day and age can go back and actually see their lives from, like, day one the whole way through, just digitally, right there in front of them. You know, and I guess you could do that with photo books if, like, you kept up with that. But
Yeah, I think part of it too is with when you're not printing the images, when you're just looking at them digitally. I find myself a lot of times, like, if I haven't printed a photo and I know, like, I have this picture in mind, I'm like, where is it? Because I have so many digitals. And I think that, you know, everyone can kind of relate to that with just constantly taking pictures on their phones. Sometimes I can't find what I want. So if I don't print it and I don't have it physically somewhere, I'm worried that it's lost.
So you are telling me that you have some sort of awesome category system that you're like, oh, 1948.
Well, basically for my albums, I have almost probably like at least one album per year.
So let's talk about photography and taking pictures. So first I want to know, like, what's the first photo that you took that you actually remember where you're like, oh, this is like a good photo, and like.
I'm not sure. I mean, a lot of, like I said, with the throwaway cameras, a lot of it was just like experimenting, and I wasn't really messing with them digitally. So I'm sure there were moments with that, but I mean, probably the first photo that really I connected with, which is actually my favorite photo, is that. Can I talk about that now?
No.
Well, I know we're going to get to that eventually.
Yeah, no, I mean, then that's, yeah, perfect.
But I have this photo of my grandfather who passed away about 2 years ago. Was when I was pregnant with my daughter. And I had this photo from when I was in college. And it was just, I took it at a family party. I was just there, just taking pictures. And my grandfather was a Korean War veteran. And he had post-traumatic stress disorder. It was definitely very apparent, like, in his life. And I have this photo of him. It's a black and white photo. And he's smoking a cigarette, and he has his head down. And it's a close-up shot, close-ups from an album. I love close-up pictures. But, so you can't see his eyes. And on his hat was his, it says 1st Cavalry Division. That's what he was in the Korean War. And the Korean War was such, like, a part of him. But in this image, my family, it really resonated with my family too, because it really captured this side of him. Because I'm sure as soon as I took the picture, he probably looked up at me and smiled, and it was completely different. Right. But in that moment, I caught this version of him that we all saw all the time, but we didn't really have something to, I guess, show us that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense. And it is, like, sometimes those candid photos are the best photos. Like, anybody could go out there and be like, okay, smile for the camera, but, like, that does not really capture the pure, raw energy of that photo and the emotional state that you have in that photo. So we did select one of your photos for our gallery space, the Music in the Bird. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that photo?
That photo is of my husband, who is also, I'm not a musician. He's a musician. I tried to be a musician when I was younger.
Is that where it comes from?
No. That's just me. But I was in I was in band in high school, and I actually tried to take up guitar at one point. But maybe that's also part of why, like, I have such a high respect for what he does, because I couldn't do it. Music to me never came that naturally. I love music, and I would love to be able to create music, but I just can't do it. And he can, if there's no sound, you're just watching him, he's just moving his hands, and he's singing, and it's just beautiful, and he makes it look so easy, and I don't know how he does it. But it's a picture of him, and he's been very supportive of me starting my own business and pursuing my dream, I guess. And eventually I hope to be able to support us as a family so that he can pursue music.
So what's the name of the band he's in?
He is a guitarist, and also he does backup vocals in the Andy Davis Band, which is a local band here. They play in Pittsburgh from time to time. And he also does sing separately from that as a duo with Dave Ferrani. They sing more locally in like the Greensburg area.
So they actually supplied the song that did the intro today for Captured Pittsburgh's Darkroom podcast.
Yes, the Andy Davis Band, that is the band that supplied the song "Small Town," and that was written and by the band, so that's their original song.
So your picture was chosen for Captured Pittsburgh. How did you find out about us to start?
I found out about Captured Pittsburgh through a local networking group that I'm in for creatives. It's a branch of the Rising Tide Society, and we have multiple photographers in that group. Kara Abbey of Kara Abbey Photographer, Tiffany Jackson, Jackson Signature Photography, and also Craig Ferry Photography. They've participated in Capture Pittsburgh, and I learned about it through them.
What do you think of your experience so far going through it?
I thought it was great. I mean, you get to see all these other fellow creatives there too who've been picked, and you get to support everybody and see their images too. And it was a great experience.
And you got to sign your...
And I got to sign it, which I actually didn't realize I was going to have to do that. I was like, oh no.
What's that even mean? Oh no, I forget my name?
No, I don't. The first couple people who signed were like really like cool, and I was like, I don't have a signature like that.
So like
it's one of those things that my handwriting is not something I've always been proud of. So I was like, oh.
So why don't you tell us what's next for Jamie Leonard Photography?
What's next for me? This year I plan to focus a lot on family photography, sports team photography, and also professional headshots, so I'm hoping to expand a lot there. In the far future, I might get into a little more videography, which is exciting, but that's a way off. I have to definitely establish myself a little more before that.
So, and then this is one of your books.
Yes, this is one of my newer sample albums, because definitely part of my process, since we talked about my albums as a child, is I want to make sure that families and all my clients who come to me take something away that's physical and not just digital images. That's very important to me.
That's cool. So I'd like to thank you for coming on the show today, and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you, Captured Pittsburgh.
We all live for Friday night. Raising hell under hometown.
Captured Pittsburgh Darkroom is produced by Jason Fait, Adam Thomas, and Jason Kodat. Captured Pittsburgh Darkroom is a Captured Cities production, copyright 2018.